your job. Hallelujah. Your bills are due. And all the people you helped did not want to help you. I talked to my mother. And she said, pray about. I talked to my pastor. And he said, pray about. But I was so blinded by all my disaster. I wish you would just tell your neighbor, tell them for me. See, the devil is a liar. No, you're not gonna die. It's okay to cry, cause he's by your side. You gotta stop that hating. I know you don't wanna hear it. Gotta fast and pray and listen to the Spirit, y'all. He's speaking to your heart right now. Just listen to the Spirit, oh. Hold up. Listen.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City, and now on FM translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City, Pleasantville. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily those of WEHA, Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We Have Gospel, Spread the Gospel Inc., or any of its sponsors. WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We Have Gospel.
WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We Have Gospel.
WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We Have Gospel.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel, 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. I am so excited to be back on the air. This is my first show since January 14th. This show is being sponsored in part by the Hawks Family Businesses, serving our customers and the community for over 30 years, and Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories, and McDonald's Atlantic City. So I'm very excited. We're live in the studio on today, and we have a wonderful program for you on today. I have a few things that are going on in the community, and I want to make sure that my listening audience is very much aware of everything that is happening in and around in our area. First, I want prayers for us all to have prayers for the victims and their families in Virginia Beach. There's 12 dead, 11 victims plus the suspect, and 6 injured. And certainly we want to keep those families in prayer. Say, well, I prayed for the person, the suspect. Well, his family needs prayer, because you don't expect for your loved one to go out and do anything like that. I don't know what was on his mind. I understand he got fired on Thursday and he just came back and took it out on everybody else. So please keep all of the victims in prayer. Also, Dayton, Ohio had a bad tornado on this week, and it really flattened just about the whole city. I went to Dayton maybe like 30 years ago. So we certainly want to keep all of them in our prayers as well. On tomorrow, June 2nd, there is a National Day of Prayer for President Donald Trump. And it is my responsibility, I feel, is to bring all of the news to everyone that's my listening audience. And I also think it's befitting because of the guest that I have on today. He was very instrumental back in the day with the boxing world down here in Atlantic City. And some people may say, Thelma, why pray for the president? Well, this is a Christian radio station, although my show is community. And the Bible does tell us to pray for people in authority. And that's what we're supposed to do. Now, I submit to you. I haven't prayed. But I am going to say a prayer tomorrow. And this is being headed by Pastor Franklin Graham, the son of the late Billy Graham. Now, I don't necessarily believe that he has enemies. Well, I should say it like this. Just because people hold us accountable, it doesn't make them our enemy. All right? But nevertheless, there will be a National Day of Prayer for President Donald Trump on tomorrow. So we're asking for many of you who can say a prayer for our president. Also, on Tuesday, June the 4th, there will be the New Jersey primary election day. The polls will open at 6 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. It is important that you cast your vote. Now, I do want to say this. There's more than one way that you can vote, but your vote is definitely counted if you go to the polls. There is a small possibility that if you don't fill your form out right, that your vote will not be counted on election day. So make sure that if you're going to vote by mail, that you're doing everything by the directions so that your vote can count. And if you applied for a vote by mail and you haven't mailed it back in, it doesn't count just because you have the application. All right, so I'm not insulting anyone's intelligence. Just wanted people to be cognizant of the fact that Election Day is Tuesday and it's important for us to go out and vote. On June the 5th, Grace Tabernacle, 224 Shaitland Avenue in Pleasantville has a food pantry, and it's from 1 to 3 p.m. It is excellent. They have meats, they have fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's very, very good. It's open to the public. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I go out, I look for these things for my listening audience to make sure that you're able to take advantage of it, or you may know someone who's in need of food. Send them over to Grace Tabernacle, 224 Shaitland Avenue, every Wednesday from 1 to 3. Also, if you're looking for a job, Aldi's is hiring, and they're paying $17 an hour. All right, so you have to go online, get the application, and maybe you'll get a job there. September the 14th, 2019 at 7 p.m. is our 10th anniversary banquet for WEHA. It's been 10 years that God has allowed WEHA to be in existence, and this celebration will be held at the Winsand Center in Pleasantville. And the MC will be none other than Dr. Bobby Jones. And our keynote speaker will be Bishop Marvin Sapp. So we want you to mark your calendars and keep all of these announcements in mind. I am excited right now for the guest that I have in the studio in the person of Ray McCline. He is the president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And this young man had this vision several years ago. It has come to fruition. I've been to both inductees, the first and the second one, and it is a classy event. So, hello, Ray McCline.
Hello, Thelma. Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm so glad. All right, yeah, I got it on. I'm working it right now. I'm so glad to have you a part of our program. And you're the first person to come on my show with me coming back on the air.
Well, I'm honored to be here, and I thank you for the invitation again. It seems to be an annual event for us to be able to come here and share with the listening community in regards to our initiative with the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and being that this is our third annual induction ceremony, celebration and ceremony weekend. It's just, it's always good to come amongst friends, and I always appreciate the invitation from the Hawks family. And my prayers go out to my brother, my friend, Deacon William Hawks, and, we continue to pray a speedy recovery for him.
Absolutely.
And we also lift up Sister Elaine Hawks in prayer as she supports her husband.
Absolutely. Now, I want you to give my listening audience the dates for this third annual event.
Yes, the event will be taking place June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the historic Claridge Hotel. Also, actually, I'd like to add here as well, we just extended another day or added another day to it in which we are partnering with Golden Boy Boxing, in which they're going to be doing a boxing show on Thursday, June 20th at the Ocean Resorts Casino. And Golden Boy just promoted the Canelo Alvarez Danny Jacobs fight out in Las Vegas. If they're not the number one boxing promotional company in the world, they're number 2 or number 3. And it flip-flops on any given week, depending on which boxing show is going on. But they are one of the biggest boxing promotional companies in the world. So for us to be branded with them, for this here weekend also is, it's a humbling I think, at this moment as well.
Well, you're a very humble person. So now it's going to be, it's not really a part of your event, but they're partnering with you. So kind of, sort of it is.
Yeah, actually it is, because Bernard Hopkins, who is one of our inductees in this class this year, this is going to be the first induction for him. He had a great career, and it started out here in Atlantic City.
That's true.
He's a partner with Golden Boy Boxing, so he was very, he worked diligently to help bring this to fruition, along with the CEO of Fantasy Resorts, Roxanne Passarella. They really worked hard to make sure that this became a part of the weekend in honor of Bernard Hopkins.
That's great.
Being that he's a partner with Golden Boy and that he was going to be here, so it was befitting actually to just add that brand to it. So we're excited about it.
Well, that's fantastic news, and as they say, breaking news.
Yeah.
It broke on my program, so I'm really excited about that. So that's good. That's real good. And so they'll actually be having a fight.
They'll be having a fight on Thursday, Thursday night fights at the Ocean Casino Resort in the Ovation Hall. If you haven't been there, it's a beautiful, beautiful facility. And they're going to be doing their Thursday night fight. I think it's on Facebook Watch, which is shown nationally. And it's an unbelievable production that they actually do. It's basically like they pay-per-view events, and they have a lot of different personalities that will be there that work with them, and also we will have various inductees from this year's class as well as the previous classes. So we will have the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran there. We will have Bernard Hopkins, of course. We will have Michael Spinks. We will have Ray Mercer. We have Tim Witherspoon. We will have Al Cole, and I'm missing a few other names, but there's going to be some great people in town for that particular event on Thursday night, and then extending into the weekend.
And then Friday, your event will start.
Yeah, we have our Friday VIP reception at the Claridge, in which we'll be debuting something that the Lord gave me I want to say about 5 years ago. We're going to do a pop-up Legends Cafe, which is going to basically be, I'll just say it's kind of where Panera Bread meets Starbucks, in a coffee environment.
That's
it's going to be, with boxing memorabilia, almost like a Hard Rock Cafe. So when you go in, you're going to see a lot of the old boxing footage, posters. You're going to see different exhibits. You're going to see a lot of different things that will put you in that boxing community. But at the same time, it is, going to be just an experience for not just for the boxing fan, but also just those that like art. You know, and if you also like just to kind of be around, the boxing legends, you'll get a chance to experience that, up close and personal.
And I have to say that the legends that I have met have been very personable. Sometimes when people have reached a certain plateau in life, they can be arrogant. But for the most part, everyone that I've met has been very, very hospitable. I'm very excited now because right now calling in is Robert Bobby Goodman. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, good. I'm trying to make sure I got you. Can you hear me? Okay. No, this is the one right here. All right. Can you hear me? I don't know. He can't hear me. But I want to tell you about this man here as they're working everything out for me. And turn that music down a little bit.
Wow.
Yes. Now, Mr. Bobby Goodman, Robert Bobby Goodman.
You don't have to call me Bobby.
Bobby. Was conceived at the Gross Singers, the famed Catskill Resort training camp for so many boxing greats like Barney Ross, Rocky Marciano, Roberto Duran, Ken Norton, Larry Holmes, among those. And he became a boxing junkie at the age of 10.
Yes, I did.
He was born in June 8th. June 8th, you're getting ready to have a birthday coming up. 1939. You're the same age as my dad. I was born in the Bronx, New York.
Yep.
And it was just great. He was in training camps with Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Roberto Duran, and many others. In his early teens, his family moved to New Jersey. His father worked at Madison Square Garden, which is, as we all know, in New York. You attended the University of Miami for a couple of semesters, served our great country, the U.S. in the U.S. Coast Guard, and there he met his lovely wife, Kathleen.
Yes, I did.
And they were married 56 years, I'm telling you. And him and his dad ran a promotion and public relations office in New York and worked on most of the major closed-circuit fights of the era. He's promoted wonderful fights. And also I want to say you are a recipient this year. You are being inducted into the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. You were joined with your father in the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2009, a recipient of the James J. Walker Memorial Award for long and meritorious service to boxing, New Jersey Hall of Fame and Florida Boxing Hall of Fame and the New York Boxing Hall of Fame, but now the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Mr. Goodman.
Thank you very much. This will be my fifth, and as I go into my later years, I retired about 7 or 8 years ago, and still follow the game and love the sport, and had some great moments with our friend Tim Witherspoon too.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to interview him because we have the same last name.
Yeah, no relation?
You know what? I want to say we are, but I really don't know until we do some fact checking. But I can say we spell our name the same way. We don't say Witherspoon. It's Wither.
Yeah, Witherspoon.
So,
I go way back with Tim. I did many of his fights, including the championship fights. And matter of fact, I was running Madison Square Garden when he had his last World Championship fight up there. But Tim was a hard-working boxer who did it his way. He came up the hard way. There was no gifts for Tim coming up, and not like today's boxers who get soft handling for most part.
What is your most memorable occasion working in boxing?
Oh my God, I did all of the big fights. I was with Ali did Ali's fights for about 13, 14 years. So we had some great ones. The Thriller in Manila.
Thriller and Manila. Now I remember that.
Yeah, that was.
Was that in Africa?
That Thriller Manila was in the Philippines.
The Philippines. I knew it was out of the country.
And that was the maybe one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time between Joe and Muhammad, their third fight.
Yeah.
And it was certainly exciting. We had a sold out crowd, and they fought like warriors, with Muhammad finally winning it late in the fight when Joe couldn't make it out. But it was that was great, and Joe was a tremendous champion, and so was Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't duck anybody; they fought everybody, and that's what the heavyweight championship was in those days.
Right.
And Tim kept on the tradition. He met everybody too.
Wow.
His record looks like a who's who of boxing.
Wow. I pulled his record up, and it's very impressive. Very,
Yes.
very, very impressive. And I can't wait to interview him. Now, you reside right here locally now.
I live in Mays Landing.
Uh-huh.
We moved down here when I was Don King's vice president, and then decided my wife wanted to be close to the kids and the grandkids, so we moved up from Florida.
Oh, you moved up from Florida and came right into...
I left King.
All right. We have a new phone, so if you hear some beeping, it's okay. We're still here on the phone. And I believe that Ray McCline's mother is calling in on the show.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get her too. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is this Linda Jones?
Yes, it is. I don't want to embarrass him, but I was just driving and really parking my car, and I said, that sounds like my son. And I'm like, okay. And I've been listening to the show. That's all. I'm just calling in.
Well, there's nothing like a mother. The love of a mother. We're going to continue our conversation here with Mr. Goodman, but thank you so much for calling in on the show on today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you will. I really appreciate that.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay. So we're back talking to Mr. Goodman. Are you still there, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here. Well, I'm at your disposal. I would have driven over, but I had recent corneal replacement surgery in my one of my eyes, and I don't see too well, so I just started driving again.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you were able. Thank God for modern technology. All right, and Ray is. We're going to talk. We're all of us are here at the same time. So,
Hey, Bobby, how are you? Ray McCline. Glad to have
Hey,
you.
Ray, how are you?
Pretty good. Hey, I just wanted to, first of all, congratulate you on being a part of this year's class. You've done so much in the boxing world, and you kind of touched on it a little with just a few minutes ago with your relationship with Don King. But can you give some of the names of some of the people that you've worked with? Not just the fighters, but the production and promotional companies like Don King and Bob Arum and all the unbelievable icons that we say the names that we say so often, but a lot of times we've forgotten. So if you can kind of let people know the people that you've worked with over the years.
Well, through the years, I worked myself at Madison Square Garden as their promoter for years, and went with Bob Arum and did a couple of his fights, including the fights with the second fight with Joe Frazier and Ali at the Garden, and then the rest of the Ali fights I did with Don King. And after Don King, I went back I went back to the Garden and spent about 10 years running Madison Square Garden, and developed many, many world champions at the Garden, which included a regular series of fights in Atlantic City. Guys like Buddy McGirt and Tom Boom Boom Johnson and Poison Junior Jones and all the great kids that came out of that era. We developed 17 world champions coming out of Madison Square Garden, and that was something that was great. Great fun.
Absolutely. Now, Muhammad Ali was and is known as the greatest fighter of all times.
Yes, he was.
All right. So after him, who would you say is in the top three?
I'd say Larry Holmes belongs up there.
Larry Holmes?
Larry gets far too little credit for being a great boxer and also a guy that fought them all. He didn't duck anybody, and he won his title in a tough fight with Ken Norton. And again, one of the great fights in history. And Larry lives right there in Eastern Pennsylvania, and was one of the great heavyweights.
And a lot of the boxers have not done well financially, but he's one of the ones that, from my understanding, who's done pretty good with his money.
Yeah, Larry took care of his money and did a good job. I think he owns half of Easton. I know he had a hotel up there and a restaurant, and I've been up there to see him, and he's done quite a job for himself, and he's a credit to boxing. I'll say that.
So is Muhammad Ali the greatest boxer of all times? It's Larry Holmes. And
Larry Holmes. You gotta include, even though in today's heavyweight world he wouldn't have been a heavyweight, he'd have been a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight, is Rocky Marciano.
Rocky Marciano,
who went undefeated through his career, but he was a smallish heavyweight, not like Tim. Tim was 6'3.5" and a big guy, but Tim came along at a time when nobody was being babied either.
All right, so
and Bobby, even there, like the experiences that you've had in boxing, and that's why I love talking to you. I know we talk on the phone sometime, just conversation, but and I love picking your brain. So, like, what was the experience like working with guys like Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano? Because those are names that are in history books. I mean, what was that personal experience like?
Well, Joe was a special friend and also a special fighter. Got a chance to play a couple of rounds of golf with him too. He was a golf junkie. But Muhammad was, Joe Louis had a great jab. It was like a hammer coming out at you. I remember talking to Jimmy Braddock about his fight with Louis, and he said the thing was like a machine gun. And he couldn't get away from the jab, he said.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, boxing has really evolved. It's changed a lot. It was known as one of the lowest paying sports years ago, but it has evolved.
It's evolved. It's evolved, but in a strange way, where the top money earners in boxing that can do the pay-per-view events and get that kind of notoriety, they do very well for themselves. But the clubs, the small clubs where the kids develop, aren't running anymore. They find it too tough financially with all the current tests and the boxers not wanting to fight as often. And back when I was growing up in the business, we had club shows every night of the week, and that's something that's sorely missing
Right.
from the education experience-wise of these boxers. You know, and back in the day, they fought tough guys because a loss didn't mean the end of your career. If you fought a good fight against a tough fighter, it was just a great learning experience. Today, they lose a fight, and the TV executives and the promoters want to walk away from them.
Right. So everything hinges on them winning.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's sad. You like to see great competition where the loser of a great fight is not penalized.
Wow. That's really changed a lot. What would you like to leave with my listening audience?
Well, boxing is a great sport, and they go through a lot of tests. They have to do drug tests. They have to do all kinds of physical tests. And I would say that if any of the other major sports like baseball or football or basketball even had to go through the rigorous tests that boxing does, they'd have trouble fielding a team.
Wow. Well, again, I'm Mr. Goodman. I want to say congratulations. I know you say just call you Bobby, but you're my dad's age. I just can't call you Bobby. I got to say Mr. Bobby.
Well, I was brought up in the business. My father was in the business as well, and you know, from the time I was 7 or 8 years old, I was in a training camp, and it was a wonderful life, and I wouldn't have liked doing anything better than what I did with it.
Well, I'm going to look forward to meeting you at the 3rd Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame as you are inducted into it, and congratulations, and thank you for your service to our great country.
I'm so excited. I'm ready.
Looking forward to seeing you, Bob.
Looking forward.
Okay.
Well, we want you to keep those dials locked. You're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon and my guest, Ray McCline, president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, along with Mr. Goodman, and we're getting ready for Terrible 10.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Hawks. 10 years ago, my parents, Bill and Elaine Hawks, took a leap of faith and started the ministry of WEHA. I would like to take this time to tell you about WEHA's 10th anniversary banquet happening Saturday, September 14th, 2019, hosted by the legendary Dr. Bobby Jones. And our keynote speaker is multi-Grammy and Stellar Award winner, Bishop Marvin L. Sack. You don't want to miss this event. Mark your calendar for Saturday, September 14th, 2019, WEHA's 10th anniversary banquet. For further information on the banquet or to place your ad in our souvenir ad book, please call the WEHA business office at 609-641-8870. WEHA is Christ-centered, community-focused, and listener-supported. Thank you, and God bless.
Do you have an event coming up and need a facility? Well, let me tell you about Atlantic County's newest banquet facility, Beacon Hall, located in the heart of Egg Harbor City, right off the White Horse Pike. Beacon Hall is a full-service banquet facility that is 5,000 square feet with an attached parking lot. Book your conferences, book signings, birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, weddings, repasts. No event is too big or too small. You can book your next event by calling us at 609-965-4255 or email us at bookbeaconhall@gmail.com. That's BOOKBEACONHALL@gmail.com. Try Beacon Hall, where we turn moments into cherished memories.
The second best thing about driving home is listening to WEHA. The best thing is getting there. And that's why I'm glad when I finally get home, I can listen to WEHA on my computer. It's easy. All you have to do is go to wehavegospel.com. Not only can I hear the station, I can also see what's playing at the time as well as what has already played before. You know, sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio and I want to know the name of the song and where I can get it from, you know. And when I need to go to another website, I can always use the pop-out player to keep WEHA playing in the background while I browse the web. They make it so easy for me at wehavegospel.com. You got to check it out. Aaron Sporty Randolph puts the First Ward first in all his thoughts and governmental actions. When fighting for development, Councilman Randolph puts the First Ward first, advocating for the return of community concerts to Gardner's Basin. Councilman Randolph puts the First Ward first, making sure there is added police protection. The First Ward is first in Councilman Randolph's thoughts and actions. On Tuesday, June 4th, you can return Aaron Sporty Randolph to the First Ward Council seat. You can vote A7 Randolph for City Council. Tuesday, June 4th, row A7. You can re-elect Randolph.
If you just tune in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel, 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. This broadcast is being brought to you by Hawks Family Businesses, Beacon Hall, and in part with McDonald's of Atlantic City. And we're so glad to have the owner of the station calling in, Deacon Hawks. Hello? Okay. He's they're working this out for me. But anyway, we have Ray McCline here. And we got a new phone system. Everything is new for me, y'all. I'm excited about this coming back, so I'm trying to learn it, and they're working me through it. Am I handling it like a champ?
Weaving real good.
Listen, the first time I went to a fight, a professional fight, I didn't know that they got dressed up. I didn't know that. So I show up in a sweatsuit. All right, and so I had an eye opener and a great experience. They was coming in with their Botany 500s. Oh my God! And their Versace suits, and here they are walking in with women with gowns and all kinds. I said, "Ooh, I didn't know it was like this. This is a lot of money in boxing." Hello, Deacon Hawks.
God bless you, Thelma.
God bless you.
Good to hear you back on the air. You're sounding wonderful, and you couldn't have started off with a better topic than showcasing the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame with my good friend and brother, the president, Ray McCline. And I just wanted to congratulate him on the stellar job that he's been doing over these last couple of years. And this is the third anniversary, and it's just going to get bigger and better and better. And even for his insight and foresight and his vision to bring something that's so synonymous with Atlantic City to this area in the Boxing Hall of Fame. For years, Atlantic City was always dubbed the beauty pageant Hall of Fame, or was always cited for the pageants and all of that, the Miss America pageants. But I think it's definitely in order for Atlantic City to be touted as the home of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and Ray McCline has made that happen. So continued blessings. Once again, good to hear you on the air again, Thelma. Have a blessed show, and congratulations, Ray, again, man, and all that you do. And we look forward to another successful event. I can't wait.
Thank you, my friend, and a speedy recovery to you, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame events.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
I think thanks so much for Deacon Hall, president of the Langs,
praise the Lord, everybody.
Of the WHA Gospel radio station, calling in and congratulating me, and Ray McCline, who's the president of the Lang City Boxing Hall of Fame. I do want to say that President Donald Trump had a major part in boxing, and he was one of the inductees last year. Now, he wasn't there, but now had he showed up, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I'd have got a picture.
A lot of people would have. And you know what? Even it's a little awkward sometimes with it, but the reality is he played a major part in boxing in Atlantic City in the early 80s, the mid-80s, I should say, and even into the 90s, mid-90s. And we included him last year, and it wasn't a gimmick. It was, legitimate. If we were going to honor the fighters like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and the promoters like Bob Arum and Don King, there was no way that we couldn't honor Donald Trump
Right.
Donald Trump, but currently President Donald Trump at that time, because he played a major role in it. And we communicated with the White House last year. I mean, we were back and forth in emails. They acknowledged, what we had done, and we're still communicating with them and how to get his awards.
That's
to
what
him.
I was going to ask
you. We're actually anticipating a letter, from the president. And again, for us, it's awkward for some people, but the reality is, as history goes forward, you have to record the good and the bad.
Absolutely.
And the fact that we're, in our third year, and we're able to actually say that we're inducting a sitting president, or we inducted a sitting president of the United States in your Hall of Fame. That's not too many places, people or organizations can actually say that. So,
well, now he should have invited you to the White House for that. Now, come on, President. He should have invited you to the White House to get his award. Now, that's what I'm saying. Take it back, all y'all that are listening. All right. I gotta have some fun. I have to have some fun. But I thought it was great because when I would come to the fights, he would come in, because the fights may start at 8:00. But the real, the main event, the people didn't come until like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I would see him coming with an entourage, where all these people are all behind him, and he was at the front of the line. That's how it was,
Yeah, it was a different era in the sport, and also a different era in Atlantic City, and we're trying to recapture some of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I'm getting ready to talk to Tim Witherspoon, and let me see how I'm supposed to do this.
Oh, you're calling him?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but anyway, we're calling Tim Witherspoon. The number was already put in the system. Forgive me, y'all. I'm not supposed to be saying all this on the air, but I'm for real. I'm trying to learn the new phone system and everything. Anyway, we got him calling in, and I'm excited about this.
No, I'm taking the number. I can take the number.
I gave it to Jared. Go to Jared. So anyway, I'm still talking with Ray McCline as we're getting ready for boxing. Terrible Tim.
And as you guys are doing that, I can just to the audience let them know again. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is our official event. Friday is our VIP cocktail reception, in which we have a lot of great exhibits. We have the Jack Johnson exhibit that's going to be shown, displayed. We have the James O'Neill sculptures. If you haven't seen those, you have to see them. He's did wood sculptures, life sculptures of Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. Rocky, the statue of Rocky is actually going to be debuted. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, I mean, it's a lot of great things. We have some local artists that would also be showing some of their displays. Don King's daughter, Life is a New Cool, will be exhibiting as well. Joe Frazier's daughter,
Yes.
Rita Frazier, will be having the Legacy exhibit. And so, we have a lot. And also on Friday, we have the Me We movie of Muhammad Ali. It's a 30-minute short documentary. So it's a lot of great things. Saturday is open to the public. So come out and see it.
All right. I'm really, really, really excited. And as I forestated, it's a wonderful event, and I'm glad to have been a part of it. I also want to thank Angela Crockett.
Yes, without question.
She has been phenomenal in making sure things are going the way they need to go.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that, because I definitely don't want to forget, to be able to thank people like Angela Crockett.
Hello?
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Tim Witherspoon, for calling in on my show. To Dr. Thelma Witherspoon.
How about you don't have to say Mr., say Tim.
Tim. Terrible Tim.
Terrible Tim.
Yeah, I'm so glad for you to call in. People were asking me, Mr. Bobby Goodman said, are you related to Tim Witherspoon? I said, now, I don't know. But what I can tell you, we spell our name the same way. And we don't say Witherspoon, it's Wither. Witherspoon.
Well, you know who else? You know who else is close to relation?
Who?
Kevin Hart.
Really?
Is Henry Witherspoon, who's related to us.
Isn't that something?
Teddy Pendergrass' mom is a Witherspoon.
I did not know that. See, I learned some history here.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't wait to meet you. I wanted to let everyone know, and I'm sure I looked up your record. I've been following you over the years. You have a phenomenal record. 69 total fights, 55 wins, 38 wins by KO, 13 losses and 1 draw. Heavyweight champion of the world, Terrible Tim Witherspoon. Thank you so much for being a part of my show today.
You sound like Don King.
But you know what? I know that, but I know you and Don had some problems. And so I may sound like him, but I don't want to, be on the same.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. We all got to live in this world, and if he don't want to try to make ends meet, that's okay. I'm still going to show love. We all do bad things, and we all do good things. But one thing we have to do is try to work that thing out and go forward. That's the bottom line. If he didn't want to do it, that's his problem.
Well, one thing about it, you was not only a fighter in the ring, but you was a fighter on the outside of the ring, and that is a trait of a Witherspoon.
That's right.
All right, listen. I'm so excited.
I'm up at Muhammad Ali's camp. Are we on the air now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm up Muhammad Ali's camp, and I got my granddaughter and my daughter with me, and I've been out the shower. We're getting ready to go down. They have an event down there. Floyd Patterson was first to regain the heavyweight championship of the world. Muhammad Ali was the second to regain the heavyweight championship of the world. And guess what? Tim Witherspoon was the third, and I don't even know how I got there. Well, I'm just saying, wow, just be positive and good. I don't know why I'm up here doing an interview with you, and I'm saying life is beautiful, man.
Life is beautiful.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
Hey, Tim, Ray McCline, speaking of that, can you explain to people where you are in the occasion of what's taking place this weekend up in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. I'm up at Muhammad Ali's training camp in Deer Lake, and Gene Kilroy, who's a Irish guy that was his business agent, was Muhammad Ali's business agent. And when I had 1 or 2 fights, I was just a baby getting in the game, like a little kid with candy running around. They invited me up to camp to train with. Well, I was sparring with Michael Shah Muhammad, and Muhammad Ali came in out of nowhere with all his group, and I was sparring with Saad Muhammad, and Ali said, "Man, I want him to be my sparring partner," and so that's the first time I ever met him, and then from there on, I forgot. I'm moving around. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then that's how the relationship with Muhammad Ali and me started.
Now he gave you a ring, right?
Huh?
He gave you a ring and gave you the name Terrible Tim?
No. This is Tim. This is how Tim Witherspoon is. He promoted when he found a kid, my buddy, a friend of mine in the neighborhood named Talik Eddie Burgess.
Uh-huh.
He was from Fifth and South. When we were little younger, terrible meant real good.
Okay.
Like Michael Jordan did a 3-pointer from half court.
Right.
Man, he's terrible.
Right.
So during that time, and so when he came to the gym with me, Talik came to the gym with me and saw me boxing and sparring, and afterwards he said, "Man, you terrible. Your name should be Terrible Tim." So I understood that and liked it a little bit, but when I got to the training camp, Ali kept Terrible Tim. So that's when I said, yeah, that's going to be my name, but Talik Eddie Burgess is the one who gave me the name.
Oh, so now...
I like to give props to people who establish things and he created the name, so give him the credit for it. And Ali promoted it.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. See, that's why you have to talk to the source. But in case you don't know, in Wikipedia, it gives Muhammad Ali credit for giving you the name Terrible Tim. You can tell I done a little bit of my homework.
That's great too.
That is great.
That's great too. That's great too. That they gave him credit. But me, I don't care how small you are.
Right.
If you would contribute to something, I'm going to give it to you. And Ali would love to have met him. Ali would have loved to met him if you know, if he knew that was where the source came from. So I would have felt really bad if people didn't know who really did. Even though Muhammad is the greatest of all time, and I love him to death, I would really feel bad about that underdog that didn't get the credit for it. And he didn't even really care about the credit. He just gave me the name and supported me. That's all.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I'm talking about Talik. I'm talking about Talik.
Right, Talik. Now, you wrote a book.
Yeah.
What's the name of your book? You wrote a book in 2014.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, I was in England. I frequent England, the UK a lot, and I met the name of it was Terrible Times. Terrible Times.
Terrible Times.
And we were, Terrible Times. And we were trying to put that together. We was over there doing interviews. And then at one point, the guy, Ryan Daines, who was writing the book, had said he didn't want to put a lot of stuff in there, like a lot of stuff about Islam, a lot of stuff about gangsters, and a lot of stuff that was going on through my boxing career. I knew the gangsters. I'm not a gangster. Right. They'd be around all the sports. They'd be around everything. Right. And religious people, a lot of them be around everything. So he was going to exclude a lot of stuff. So we had a little, my cousin Murad, Zayed Murad was really there making sure that everything, because he was there with me most of the time in my boxing career. So he was there to help Ryan put the book together. So we were putting it together, and my cousin called me and said, "Yeah, man, I don't think this guy went and put all this other negative stuff. The negative stuff sell too." So it was about, I was in America. I went back to America. Then all of a sudden somebody called me saying, "I read your book. We were supposed to finalize everything." And I said, "What?" Ryan Daines printed the book without confirming or finalizing anything, and the book was selling over in England.
Wow.
So we jumped right on it. Yeah. My agent, Kevin Baker, who introduced me to Ryan Daines and set everything up, I called him and said, "Hey, man, we didn't finalize the book. A friend of mine called me and said he bought the book." So then we dug deep into a lot of things, and my cousin made calls, and we got him to stop selling the books. We threatened him, and then they stopped selling it. But there was people still coming up with copies of the book, so he continued on selling it, and we stopped it. So now we're going to try to get the full true story in the future about Tim Witherspoon and Another Story. But people they like what was in that first one, and even though a lot of the stuff that would have made it sell wasn't in it. Wow. So I know the book could do good.
That's fantastic. Now you are your son's manager now.
Well, I'm my son. I'm
a trainer. Are you his trainer or what?
I was training my son, and Tim was doing really good. Tim Jr. Was doing really good. He's one of the nicest kids. All my kids, I never had no troubles with him. I never had no trouble with my kids. I never put my hands on them when I had to chastise them. I spanked little Tim when he was like 7 months old. I gave him little taps on his legs.
That's all you could do.
I never put my hands on my kids. Right. I never put my hands on them. Yeah, and so I was his trainer, and he was winning. He was doing good. I was trying to go overseas to try to get sponsors. I was trying to make it big for him. I was going over there trying to talk to people with money. In America, I was trying to do it. I came back home. He had 12 fights, 13 fights with 2 losses, and we really couldn't get the formula right. He hurt his knee and was training. He was training on a bad knee and didn't know it was really that bad. And then they told him that he probably wouldn't be able to fight, so he retired because of his knee and everything. So now he has a gym up in Bristol, Pennsylvania. He's doing really good. I don't really go frequent. I frequent the gym, but I don't want to get in his boundaries. So I want him to succeed and do the best he can. I don't want to get in his way. When I go to the gym, everybody be wondering why Tim, his father's not in the gym that much. But I want him to go on and be successful with the gym. And he's one of the nicest kids that I've ever met. He's a really nice kid.
Yes, he is.
Wow. So your son is doing his own thing now.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing, and I would wish that he would want me to be a part of his gym up there, and really it will really take off, because I know a lot of the people that come to the gym wondering where I'm at, and because the name Witherspoon is up there, and in the beginning everybody thought it was my gym. They thought it was my gym, but it turned out that he wanted to go on his own way and doing his own thing. So I had to respect that. But on the other hand, I knew that we could have really blew up, and because I had people from Spain, had people from Ireland, England. Everybody was going to try to support, send their boxes to the gym. But I just didn't want to get in my son's way and make him unhappy, I guess. Right. And he's doing really good. I go up to the gym and train and support. But really, technically, he runs the gym, and I really don't have anything to do with it. All right. But I would like to. I would like to.
Well, I hope that will come together, and it would be a beautiful thing, a Witherspoon thing. It would be a great thing.
And Tim,
I would love for that to happen. Yeah.
Ray McCline, again, looking forward to you being here in a few weeks. You just give people what it was like for you to be heavyweight champion, and also being in the fights that you had in Atlantic City. I know you were, competed, on national television and major fights, but also at some of the properties that are no longer here, like the Trump properties and Playboy. And
I know. It was real beautiful, man. There was people down there everywhere. It was not like Las Vegas, but they were going back and forth, Vegas or Atlantic City, Vegas or Atlantic City. Who's the best? Who's getting there? And it was a lovely experience for me to be fighting down there at all those different hotels, and people supporting me, and other boxers. It didn't last. It didn't last that long. And you might know the data on how long it lasts or how it was, but I had several knockouts down there. People supported me. That was in the beginning of my career. That was when I was really pushing hard, and I had managers backing me that was really good behind, like Mark Stewart. He had a lot to do with direct music, WMOT Records, and WDS, Butterball, all those guys. They were all supported Mark Stewart, and they had a building down there in Center City with all the boxers. We lived in the building. He had musicians in there. He was paying us properly. He was treating us good. We was getting weekly salaries. Matter of fact, Bernard Hoffman's uncles was one of our crew members. He stayed in the building too, right on 12th and Spruce. Wow. And I felt really good, man. I felt good about. I had somebody that was going to get me paid. Somebody that had my back. He bought me a new car. He was giving me a weekly salary. He said the first words is, "I'm going to make Don King pay you, Tim." And we kept winning. We kept winning. We kept winning. We kept supporting. He did everything. And then one of his partners got in trouble. Larry Levin, Dr. Snow, they had called him. They caught him selling drugs, and that's when we fell and got sold to Don King. We went. Paperwork was done, and we didn't know it. And Don King, we was fighting under Don King, and didn't even know he had our contracts. Wow. And so Mark Stewart did some time, but we had a situation, me and my brother Anthony, just like Mike Tyson had. Somebody that cared, somebody that was working hard, and then somebody else messed that up, and we had to go with Don King.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I'm excited about you being here, and I know you're a true Witherspoon because we are not lost for words. And I tell you,
right.
Your boxing career was from 1979 to 2003, and you were a two-time world heavyweight champion. Yes, so I'm excited about that. You held the WBC title in 1984 and the WBA title in 1986. So you can tell I've done my homework. I'm looking forward to meeting you at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Again, congratulations.
Yeah.
It's been many years that you have fought. I knew of you, but I want to get the chance to actually meet you and take a picture with possibly my cousin.
Wow, that's right. That's right. It just I just don't know how I got here. I was started out to be a professional football player. I was an all Philadelphia tight end. I had a scholarship, 4-year football scholarship, and went to Lincoln University, Missouri, 10 miles from Mizzou. And I just, my journey was just keep going forward, Tim. Keep going forward, Tim. In the neighborhood I came from in South Philly, multicultural. There was Italian, there was Irish, there was the Jewish, all the blacks, all the young black people worked for the Jewish people that had the stores on 7th Street.
Okay.
You walk down 7th Street, and I was hired by a Jewish, and all the young black kids, we had jobs working for the Jewish people, because I don't know why we was working for those guys, and it turned out pretty good. Things turned out pretty good. And
I'm so happy, Tim. We get ready to finish. My show is getting ready to end. And what would you like to leave with my listening audience? I can't wait to meet you in person. I got a few more seconds. What would you like to leave? You got 10 seconds.
Looking forward to everybody coming down to Atlantic City to the award night down there, the Hall of Fame. I really appreciate those guys giving me the award, and I'm looking forward. I'm working out and training just for that. So,
all right.
So, everybody come on down. We're going to have a wonderful weekend down there.
Thank you so much for calling in on my show. Did you enjoy my program today? I know you did. Thanks for listening to my show In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, with Ray McCline, president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, Robert Bobby Goodman, and terrible Tim Witherspoon. Keep it locked to WEHA.